international treaties. What I'm guessing is the land that we're on, they do have a treaty, but it's not recognized. So there's in the UN, there's two people. Well, there's I think there's two or three. I know that the Six Nations in New York and this Fort Laramie Treaty made it to the Chronicle list of international treaties around the world. And so there's a thing called the Hague. The Hague deals with these treaties. Um, in 1933, the United States, they went bankrupt. And when they went bankrupt, they failed to ratify and dialogue with 564 federal recognized tribes. I'd like to ask everybody, just to show of hands, how many of you knew about the 1933 bankruptcy before I got here? How many of you knew that 1933 bankruptcy had a charter number? That's not very many. I gotta raise my hand. Look at my hands. The charter number, I'm gonna give you the charter number right now. To under 28 USC 3002 defines the United States means a federal corporation, be an agency, department, commission, board, or other entity of the United States. That means local, state, tribal, local, state, and federal government. Those are all corporations right there. The United States come up with the charter number it's actually 05. I did a typo, but it's 0527141196. That charter number is coming from a bankrupt corporation. So if we were all the 564 federal recognized tribes right here, right now, we would ask each other, or if I found this out and I come to you and you're all great leaders, which you are, and I said, did you give the United States permission to do a business? What you gonna tell me? Did you? Did you? Did you? Did you? Did you? Did you? Okay, so which one of us allowed this government to have this charter number and create genocide on our land? Who allowed them to pollute our waters? Who allowed them to destroy our children? Okay. So this is and the other one is since when did a de facto government supersede our treaties? If we all have a treaty, which one of you let that government use that executive order against us? Who did it? Raise your hand, because the rest of us are going to knock you out. Okay, maybe not that intense, but you get the point, right?
Yes, exactly.
So there's a lot of people out there who who are not happy. Okay, so we all agree we didn't. Everybody, right? Don't matter. We all agreed. So what happened is the government come up with two constitutions to separate the people. The original treaty started in 405 before Christ. That means the whole entire world has a treaty. Remember I said Europe has white, Africa has black, Chinese has yellow, and we have red. When they brought the people here to this land, they made sure you didn't know about your treaties. They had to control the people somehow, so they wrote what is called the Constitution of 1787. This is the people's constitution. So what they did is dummied all of us down. And they said, we're going to have this constitution and you're going to be the vote to tell me what to do. Then, the 1871, they started a corporate constitution. The corporation constitution just got through playing the ace over the people's constitution. But in the Constitution, Article 6, Clause 2 declares that the treaties you're reading right now are supreme law of the land. So how does a de facto government with 4 bankruptcies who came in on a ship with Americo Vespucci the subdued treaties of the world. How does it happen? Lack of education, right? Okay. So there's no treaties in grade school, high school, college, only in universities, 2 universities, and they're leaving us out. So what happened is the charter number that I read, 0527141196. If we're going to make a change, okay, if we are going to make a change, not only does the 1933 bankruptcy come into question, but these 2 constitutions. How many of you knew the United States had 2 constitutions? Go ahead, pass it and show. I want you guys to look at that so I can get back to this and share it. So in the Fort Laramie Treaty, under Article 1, the ones that you're going through, it does say, if bad men among the whites or among other people subject to authority of the United States shall commit any wrong upon person or property of Indians, the United States will, upon proof made the agent and forward to the Commissioner of Indian Affairs at Washington, D.C., proceed at once to cause the offender to be arrested and punished according to the laws of the United States and as reimbursed to injured persons or the lost. If bad men among the Indians shall commit a wrong or deprivation upon the person, property, or anyone, white, black, or Indian, subject to the authority of the United States. What that means in law is to the bad man removed. That's the bad man removed clause. Bad man removed for life is someone that is committed treason against treaties which carry a death sentence. Bad man removed for life is someone who will sit in jail for a long time. So the 2 treaties that are about to cross here shortly, one, it carries a death sentence, which is the 1851. And the 1868 carries a lifetime in prison. So what's going to happen here is they were never supposed to do the Indians wrong. And they were never supposed to create no harm to any man who done no harm. So just like this camp sitting here, I don't see anybody here today creating harm to nobody, but we're all sitting in a circle and we're all getting along and it's perfect. But yet we have contaminated water running through here that if we shall drink it and it causes death or harm, then we could enforce the bad man removed. Okay, and bad man removed for life. So those treaties that you're looking at, they carry a heavy price, and the government, they didn't want people to know that. The other one is lack of education is genocide, poverty, to human rights are a big thing at the United Nations, and it comes in from The Hague. We also learned a new word, what's it called?
Ecocide.
Ecocide.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there was a, can I tell them?
Yeah, sure.
I have the paperwork in the car. There was a recent case, it was in April, I'm thinking about the 18th maybe, at The Hague, a trial for Monsanto. And they came away from, with all the information that they had, they are seriously looking at creating a new law or new laws that they would be able to charge corporations like Monsanto with ecocide, just as they could for genocide. But it would be a new legal, term, a new avenue to hold them accountable. So I see Flint as falling, in under that. called the All of America. Rex Tillerson, ecocide, genocide. I mean, I could go on forever. Joann's going for the jugular here.
So, what we're going on the treaties, what you're looking at, it says treaties, a contract between sovereign nations. The Constitution declares treaties to be the supreme law of the land. They are superior to state laws and state constitutions. So when we talk about the city of Flint, Standing Rock, Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, these treaties were not written with Standing Rock Sioux Agency. They were not written with Pine Ridge Agency or the Navajo Nation Agency or Chippewa Agency. They were written with the people. So it's important to have the people here. What else is important is the fact that when standing in unity, we can't let one or two people divide the solidarity, because it will cause great mayhem and divide us all the way from here to Washington, clear into the United Nations, all the way to The Hague. And we can't do that. We have to live in solidarity. I don't care what anybody says, it must be done. Long time ago, my family, they told me that just because I came from Wounded Knee, not to be acting like I know everything. But it's not, I don't know everything. It took me 10 years of my life to write a 19-page letter. I lost my home, I lost my job. I have to ask for donations or live with someone or go from home to home to home, clear across the country and back again, just so we can get justice for the people. Like many of you who have families, I have a son. I'm a single parent, and I really don't have nothing. And we're water protectors. We're not protesters. That's a must. That must get across. Is we're not here to protest nothing. We're here to protect that Mini Wichoni and Ujimaka, that sacred fire in the earth, so that our children can have the same thing we have. So this black ink on white paper, to my brother sitting over there, I'm gonna call you my brother, okay? This ABCs and 1, 2, 3s technically belong to the Africans in Clara, Africa. And it was stolen. But no Africans ever got a hold of that. If you would have sued the government for fraud and treason against treaties in the very beginning, in time, we could have a grip. But we don't have a grip. So with all respect, I am going to take that from the government. They'll never be able to use black ink on white paper again via a de facto executive order. And that will go worldwide, okay? I'm not saying I'm a badass. I'm just saying that we need to do something, anything. But something's got to work. Something's got to work somehow. The other one is this is a judicial review, reviewing the fact, does the United States have authority to supersede treaties on a bankrupt executive order? Fact is, no, they don't. But there's something that bothers me quite a lot here, and that's Mayberry versus Madison. The Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice John Marshall, decided the landmark case of William Mayberry versus J. Madison, Secretary of State of the United States, and confirms the legal principle that treaties are supreme. What does that mean? It means that these treaties are supreme. However, Judge James Marshall, Chief Justice John Marshall, I should say, had only 6 weeks of school. And how many years of school does it take to have a law degree today? Huh?
Total about 12.
12?
Yeah.
And how many years you got to pay that back before you could get ahead? Another 12?
It depends how crooked you want to be.
But so see how that trick kind of rolled? It get rolled, just rolled. And the fact is if we all knew our treaties, we could get that much further ahead. So we're gonna, if they challenge that, we're gonna tell them and laugh about, well, John Marshall only had 6 years of school and became a judge and made a decision on an international treaty agreement. Well, that's not the only judge. In Washington, D.C. right now, Judge James Bollinger made a decision on the Fort Lauderdale Treaty 1851 without any jury, without the court case going to the Supreme Court, and even the United States Congress are agreeing with him. So that 1851 treaty, an international treaty recognized around the world, one judge without a jury making an international decision just committed treason against treaty. So they're going to use that, and they're going to try to use that against all the people here. This is why it's important that this gets shared right here, so we're all educated. Like I said, I was told about the different how far the story goes back here, but we know in South Dakota that the story began with our loved ones in Florida and in New York and on the Mayberry ship. And we always ask our relatives, why'd you let them in? And they always say, we thought they were good people, but so we always give them a hard time, but it's okay. It's good to laugh, it's good to make jokes, it's good to get along. If we do not solve this problem, relatives, I always like to call it the new 1 degree, because vitamin and benzene will kill our future. And once this whole land, everything is destroyed, then what's going to happen? When the trees are gone, the grass is gone, the children are gone, what are we going to tell Creator? What are we going to tell Him? What I'm sharing with you today is really important, because the letter I have here, if you look at this letter, actually, I don't know if I brought the letter, but I know I have a lot of them. The United States got served in the United Nations with this letter that I'm trying to show you here today at the United Nations level. And what they did is they came out with a CERD report asking the United States to comply with the Gracie Nation. And this letter obviously has something in it that the United Nations acknowledged. And this letter, I'd like to leave it with you, but there's only one small problem. This is the only letter I have. I made 6 documents in New York, and it cost me $104 for 6 documents. And so if we could make a copy and you share it with everybody, don't hold on to this. Don't be like them people over there who are doing the people here wrong. Let's do something more better, more educational. Let's share with the try to get it with the people apple, believe it, Johnny. um, okay, Judge William Brandon once said our Constitution was not intended to preserve a pre-existing society, but to make a new one, to put in place new principles that the prior political community had not sufficiently recognized. I'm guessing that means benzene. This is all fraud, RICO, racketeering, embezzlement. Can anybody help me on RICO? Racketeering?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Embezzlement? Huh?
You don't have
Corruption?
to
Racketeering.
directly commit the act. You just have to be connected with one of the people connected that doing the act as a initiator or.
Our sheriff's under the RICO, racketeering under a RICO investigation right now. Sheriff of Flint.
See, there, and that's the thing with the United States being bankrupt and Flint going through what they're going through right now, and what you just described is a full testimony of what can be used when the heck get here. Okay. What I'm seeking is the best speakers, the best writers, the best. If you could fit in something and you feel you're really good at it, we started a website. And we want the media to be with media because they're the best at what they do. We want the writers to be with the writers because they're the best. We want each person to have a job in Standing Rock. They always said early in the morning when the sun first come up, they said, Kiktapo, Wanapalo, everybody get up. You're here for a purpose. You're here for a purpose, and grab your chanupas and let's pray. And today, all of us, even the ones that are in their homes right now, we're all here for a purpose. We need to do the best we can for one another. And with that being said, let me put this one back right here. The government like to do things that are kind of silly. They like to say that the treaties are not supreme. And they even have documents that prove it. So we got a document that they said that the Indians were liars. But we also got a document. This is the document that said treaties are not supreme law of the land. But we have treaties that started in 405 before Christian existence. BCE stands for before Christian existence. Those treaties this is the very beginning. You want to pass that around? Everybody can see that those treaties started in the beginning of time, before the Constitution was ever born. So, nope, that's not it. Give me a minute. I need to what's it called? Those in that place. I'll turn them this way. Okay, so let's just share a little bit on the BCE. Okay, as you're looking at the Chronicle List of International Treaties, I believe that's a 19-page document. This is the permanent forms of the United Nations. This is every single ambassador around the world. This is their book. At the United Nations, they wrote Agenda 21. Agenda 21 was to get rid of as many people as they possibly can. In 2014, there was a woman named Representative Sue Wallace from Wyoming, who wanted to pay to slaughter horses and to feed the American people contaminated horse meat. What contaminated horse meat did is it jammed up your inside of your stomach where you couldn't take a shit, and it would really ruin your inside congestion area. And it was what they were using was horses that was they were given pills and different medicines too, and some of them were wild mustangs, and they sold the meat in places like McDonald's and Wendy's fast food restaurants. And we said something about it, and in 2014, Sue Wallace had passed away of natural causes, but they were thinking somebody killed her, but nobody ever heard Sue Wallace. Oh dear. When it comes to treaties, we cannot have a lawyer. Isn't that sweet?
Probably could have better.
A lawyer is, according to this document, is defined as you're incompetent. So when we have a lawyer and we go to court, we're deemed incompetent. And so that's why I always say federal law is no excuse when it comes down to treaties. So this is really important here. And Lord knows I need to take better care of my documents. So,
As a girl, let me get you some folders.
yeah. They've been saying that for.
We've tried to make it a priority to get to a supply store, like, yeah, but it just hasn't happened yet. There's more important things.
Right.
There's one more thing really important that a lot of people don't know, especially tribal members. This here document is called the Nevada Royal Jasper Quarterly. And Nevada Royal Jasper Quarterly is written by the Bureau of Land Management and the Department of Interior. If you look on the front page and you look in the center, it's going to say that. Go ahead and pass that around. Harry Reid was in office for 35 years. And in this document, treaties are written out of page 3 and 4 on the bylaws. Why is it Harry Reid wrote treaties out of the bylaws of the Nevada Royal Jasper Quarterly or the Michigan Royal Jasper Quarterly or New York Royal Jasper Quarterly? Why are these treaties written out? Huh? This is
Sure.
That is the centuries when Babylon took the Hebrews. The first thing they try to do is take their language, separate them from their family, and make them worship a new god. That's how you take over a people.
So if they take out the treaties, kill the Indian, save the man, or kill the Indian, take their land, they could make everybody else do what they wanted them to do. In other words, they could make Flint do what they wanted Flint to do. So long as there's no treaty, there's no Indian, just get rid of them and you will listen to what I gotta say. But if an Indian is around, then we bring out our treaties and enforce this. This is good. This is why this is so important, what I'm trying to do here. This goes all the way back to, we're taking it back to Red Cloud. Red Cloud sold his land, and he had never had no say in the Black Hills. So if you remember a few years ago, they were going to try to buy back the Badlands, the Black Hills. Well, Red Cloud couldn't because he already sold his land, and they knew that. And they knew they were embezzling from the people, but the people didn't really care or know or even bothered to learn or didn't know one of those answers. But either way, the people they took well over, I believe, 3 million from the people of the world for not knowing that treaties are supreme and that Red Cloud sold out. He sold out, and him and his family was never to be touched in the Black Hills. So what they did is they needed money, and that's how they got money right there. If you want to see, please let me know, and I'll show you the documents. The other one, these things that we're talking about here, they come in different languages from the like the treaties. I don't know French, and I don't know Rome, but those are some things to look at because the United States, what they do is they write in France and sometimes Spanish or Rome or like that. And some of their words that are like ab nido. How many know what ab nido means? Ab nido means from the very beginning of time. Or Sindai. How many know Sindai? Sindai means never Sindai means never to meet again, and ab nido means from the beginning of time. As a Lakota, when we were at the United Nations, they used the name Sindai, and they said it was a city. And I told them, no, it doesn't. Sindai means to never meet again. Why do you guys come into our country and use these words that we don't even know? And as a Lakota, if I spoke to you in Lakota, you wouldn't even understand what I had to say, much less you don't even have a translator for Lakota in the United Nations. And there's 564 federal tribes, so if we all spoke our language, they couldn't have a translator because they never took that time from all of us. So what do we do? How do we do this to come to make this more better for us? What do we have to do to make it better? We need to make this better, so I'm asking,